Hey y'all, Jordan Moorhead here. We're going to do another quick Austin real estate market update. Again, we're talking about the Austin Round Rock Metro here, and we're going to go over December versus January and talk just a little bit about what we're seeing on the market here. So my team sells about 100 homes a year, and we get a good idea of what's going on in the market because we also list a lot of homes. So we get to see what's happening with buyers and also what's happening with sellers. So if you look, the December median sales price was 435, and January we're down to right around 400. Now, actually, December was a great month for us last year, so I'm not too surprised to see that sales price higher. January was incredibly slow. So typically we see the market start to pick up mid-January. We did not see that this year. It's starting to pick up now here mid-February. So it was a little bit delayed start of the spring market. So again, I'm not surprised at all to see the median sales price in January drop that much because there was just no demand for housing. You know, if you were looking in January, you were one of very, very few buyers. And you could see that by the stats there with the closed sales right around 1,500 closed sales versus 2,500 in December. So almost 1,000 less homes closed in January. That's a huge number. And again, because of that, look at the sales dollar volume there. We're around 840 million versus 1.43 billion. It's a massive difference, but that directly reflects the amount of homes sold with the prices sold. Months of inventory were down a little bit in January, so there was actually less homes on the market compared to the demand. But if you look at the active listings there, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. If you look at the active listings, we're about even. So that just shows you there were so few people looking in January, again, to our earlier comment there. But our new listings in January, that jumped up. So new listings in December, most people aren't listing their homes in December. They're thinking about Thanksgiving, they're rolling into Christmas, they've got the holidays on their mind. It's typically not a great time to list your home. So people aren't doing that. And you can see that exactly right there. But in January, you know, here in Austin, that's when our spring market typically starts. We're seeing a lot of people list their homes then. You know, I'm seeing even more of this happen now. So I think we'll see another jump in next month's stats when they come out. So these stats typically come out right around mid-month of the following month. So for February, we'll get those like March 16th or so, 16th, 17th. You look December pending sales down, but again, that's looking in the past. So November was pretty slow, but in January, pending sales up a fair amount from December, up 10% year over year. Average days on market, that's about flat. An average close to list price, that's about flat. So what we've seen over the last year or so is we've seen heightened inventory. We've seen prices going down ever so slightly as time goes on. And again, we've seen real low activity. And you could see that here in January, we saw incredibly low activity. Now, what most people that I talk to are predicting is we're going to see that transaction volume pick up here this year. So that's the number of homes sold. We're starting to see buyer interest pick up a lot because prices have started to come down to levels that sort of make sense considering the interest rates are right at 6% now. So those two are coming more into play finally. That being said, nobody knows what's going to happen with interest rates. Nobody knows what's going to happen with the economy. It's really anybody's best guess. But most people's best guess that I'm talking to think that interest rates are going to go down slightly here this year. They think transaction volume is going to go up quite a bit here this year. And they think prices are going to stay flat or go down slightly. I really don't like predictions because we have no idea what the future holds. But that's what people think, and I tend to agree with them. For buyers, I think this means you're going to continue to have great options. And the more aggressive you can get as a buyer with shorter option periods, quicker closings, you'll be able to take advantage of those people who really just need to sell their homes. A lot of people that are selling right now need to sell. A lot of people want to sell, but the large majority of people that are selling right now, especially if you're an investor trying to buy an investment property, those people need to sell. If they're selling, you're going to be able to take advantage of that with aggressive terms. So, yes, you're going to have a lot more options. Yes, it's a lot easier to buy homes, but if you want a really good deal, Close quick, close with minimal or no inspections if you can. I don't recommend it if you're new, but if you're a seasoned investor and you're comfortable doing that, you can get some really great deals there. Or do your inspections before, send your contractor in before you put an offer in it, before you go under contract. If you're a seller and you need to sell right now, again, transaction volume is picking up. It's expected to continue to pick up. I think you have a good time to sell coming up here or later this spring and starting right now. But at the same time, you're going to need to be incredibly realistic with pricing. So you're looking at the median sales price 400 here. You have the median home in Austin, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,500 square feet, and it's not in the most desirable area, probably around 400. But reach out, we can help you value it. If you get aggressive with pricing, you are going to sit on the market. I see it happen over and over and over. And when there's lots of options, it's a lot worse for you when you overprice. You overprice, nobody comes to look at your home because there's 10 others right around you for sale. And then you have to take more aggressive price cuts and more aggressive price cuts. And then people think something's wrong with your home. And then before you know it, when you should have listed at 500, but you started at 575 or 550, now you're down at 450 to get it sold. Trust me, that sounds dramatic and drastic, but that is what's happening because there's so much competition out there looking at you and looking at everything else on the market. And if you are not priced right, and there's something not right with your home, people will move on to all of their other options. You could see it in the stats right here. I'm not making this up. It is much more pronounced now. If y'all have any questions, please reach out, jordan.moorhead@kw.com. You can call or text us at any time, 512-888-9122. We're always here to help y'all. Have a great day.